Hello, it's Kim Malinowski. It is November 26th, 2023. And amazingly, the year has it seems like it's flown by, and it also seems like it's sort of like slowed down. It's one of those weird years where there's war and conflict pretty much all over the world. There's global climate change, and yet there's good things happening too. It's amazing how life is, where we have like all abundance and blessings, and then we also have like awful things, both personally and then around collectively around the world. If you are in any conflict, um, whether internally or in war, if there's anything that I can do, I won't say we because it is an Kim thing. Please let me know. I also want to let you know that I am doing my pen pal campaign. I started it last year, probably right around October for probably like Halloween cards at the first ones, and then really for holiday cards. I follow the tradition that my grandmother set, where you write out cards uh every November and December, and you don't just send them to your friends, you send them to anyone that needs them. So I took over her cards and like I wrote to people all over the country. And now I write to people all over the world. If you know somebody that needs a card, just like a pick me up or somebody in a nursing home, or if you yourself want to, you don't have to write back to me, but it's like a mailing list too. Like I don't like super advertise unless I'm having an event or I'm like, the way I have a book coming out, but it's never to have you buy it. It's not that type of thing. I want to build friendships and community instead of a mass mailing list, which most of them I honestly delete. Um, I know that people say it's literary suicide if you don't have it for your business, and I don't believe that. I believe community and friendship is much more important, and that keeping our letters and records for future generations is also just as important. Digital rot is a real thing. We all keep our emails and stuff, and we're like, yeah, but they don't last forever, my friends. Archives are suffering, and they say that the next generation isn't going to be able to archive. They're not going to know how we lived. And I think that is important because we are in like this transition time where, at least I hope it's a transition time, where we are at war, all the stuff. Loneliness is like our 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 major I would say our major, not even epidemic, pandemic, right? We just got over the pandemic. And I do believe that we need to come together, even if we're not in the same city anywhere, sort of like hold hands. And I think cards and letters really do that. I do have aphasia. Um, you will see that my handwriting is less than stellar. And I went from calligraphy, really nice calligraphy illustrated, to scrawl. Okay, I admit it. You will see all my vulnerability. You'll see my misspellings, the fact that I'm really illiterate despite being one of the best poets in the world, you know, but we do what we do. And if I reach out into friendship in that way, just know that it is genuine. Otherwise, I would type it and let AI and everything else fix my spelling and my grammar. So, yeah, please, um, anyway, you need to get a hold of me through either my website or, Kimlanowski1221 at gmail.com or Kymalian@hotmail.com. That's KYM, alien like beam me up at hotmail.com. Any of those, or PM me, whatever. Uh, don't put your information on the web, please. I don't want to like compromise anybody. But give me your address or the address of the person if you ask, that needs a card, and I'll be more than happy to send. Okay. And like I said, it's not a promotion. It's not buy my book. It's nothing like that. At least I hope it's not. Instead, I'm like, this is what I do to archaeology. This is what I'm doing. How are you doing? I hope you have a great holiday. That sort of stuff. Okay. So no worries. Alva, also, Alva Doss is, she sells, her products. She is my co-host. You see her around. She's been a little bit more absent than usual. So I've been taking over a bit more, just a bit. But she is definitely around and she is selling soaps and lotions and such. So I wanted to give her a shout out. You can also reach her through the Terra Nova Lyceum. And yeah, like I'm purchasing like body care stuff from her, like lotions, and I love her soaps. Oh my God. I am the soap fan. So I give them out as like little presents, for those that you need just a little something for or a little addition for. So just so you know, contact Alba. All right. Now I have some cool cards and I will attempt to list where I got them. I got them on Etsy. So you never know how like their links work. They don't always work. And these are my Batman cards. I just got them this week on Friday. And you can see that they're it's probably harder to see, but like here, like you have Bruce Wayne watching, looking at his parents as they die or they're dying, Okay. And I am a pop culture queen, is what I call it. I start shuffling. Um, and I love pop culture in the sense of that it sort of gives us our archetypes and in like a sense of like modern archetypes. Like, yes, there's still the queen, there's still, monarchs and like everything in the tarot, there's still the hanged man, that you have and like the things that we see repeatedly in our society. Um, but there's also like it comes out in like what I call nerd culture. We have those same archetypes, but somehow they reach us differently, Saying someone is a hierophant versus saying someone is like Ra's al Ghul is a little different. Or saying that Data from Star Trek is, the fool. It says something different and for like it just does. So I use a lot of pop culture. I admit it. It's not all star seed oracles. But that's intentional. Like I feel like we have to be real. And I don't always feel like everybody in the neo spiritual community, whatever you want to call them, is as real. And I think that we need a huge overarching experience. I'm not saying that they're bad. I'm saying we might need something different every so often. Sort of like broadening us and completing us and like not just the circle around us, but also filling us up. So like we're like a sphere. I'm getting like this idea of like the balloon, and that's kind of a weird sort of like I want to be blown up like a balloon, but like spiritually, very fulfilled, you know, that sort of thing. Now, this has a booklet, but basically what the booklet is just saying where the quotes come from. So I'm not going to use it because that's true nerdom, okay? You can like DM me and be like, hey, PM me or whatever you want to do. Like, where'd this come from? All right, our first card. If someone says no, you're asking the wrong person. Batwoman. And it says thinking outside the box. You can sort of see that. So if you're asking the wrong person, getting the wrong advice, then you have to seek elsewhere, right? Or maybe it's not the wrong advice. It's not the advice for you. And like we get so much unsolicited advice, especially on social media, right? Like I don't know how many people have told me go get therapy and I'm like, I'm in therapy, stop it. I'm trying to be genuine and I can't be. A lot of times on Facebook, I am a persona. Kim Malinowski, the poet, is much different than Kimberly Malinowski, like the person baking in the other room. Okay, so like, think outside the box. If you're having a problem, like if like you're thinking about like today, how am I going to do blah blah blah? It can be anything. It can be anything from romantic to like, how do I find time, to do cards for Christmas or Yule or whatever, right? how do I figure out how to do Hanukkah? I don't know if Diwali is already over. It was starting when I was talking to several people who are like, "This is what we celebrate, Kim." I'm like, "Oh my!" In one of my other groups, I'm in a lot of groups, um, but that means I get exposed to a lot of people. So maybe we just need to ask somebody else. And if it's not within our culture, like we're like, "Oh my gosh, I can't do this." Maybe we just have to ask that other person. So like, I mean, like, I'm trying to think of a very good example, like a concrete example. And I would say, like right now, I'm learning meter, okay? And it's true. I don't like using my name to promote things. So let's just say I'm doing meter, okay? I'm in this community and I am the sparrow keeper. Well, maybe I have a lot of tech problems and I'm in charge of tech. But maybe I'm asking the wrong person. Maybe I have to ask, my predecessor, right? Maybe I have to ask the boss. All right. So just find the right person. Think outside the box in terms of, well, who is going to know? Oh, it's that person that never talks, but that is there. Well, let me go ask them. Maybe they'll know. That sort of thing. And it doesn't have to be necessarily a person. It can be a book, it can be your own intuition. I mean, it's just sort of think about it, like whatever is on your chest, as you would say right now, right? I try not to use cliches or I accidentally break them just because been trained to. So people are always constantly correcting me. Okay. Focus less on the material. All you care about is money. The city deserves a better class of criminal. I'm going to give it to them. The Joker. Okay. Better class of criminal. Okay. Well, we can one up people, right? But if we're so focused on the material, on the money itself and not the actual actions and events and stuff, it is an issue. Like that is one thing my companion and I sort of like disagree on. And we don't quite fight because it's my money and his money, but it does come up quite a bit about like values. I believe in experiences. And he would say he does as well, but he's not willing to take, 4 days and he'd rather do 3 days to do something, even when four actually fulfills my needs, because like I go to research and do different stuff. And that might seem frivolous to him because it's extra money and everything, right? And he's right. It's extra money. But to me, it's not as frivolous. I need that information. I need to vent. I need to meet people. I need to network, that sort of thing. So we have to think about all sides. I think that focus less on the material could also, I mean, it's a holiday season, right? Um, Focus less on presents, focus less on what you feel like you have to give. And I admit that I am a feeler. I have to gives. I love seeing stuff and finding it for the perfect person. And I don't always have the money. I admit it. I live on credit, and I admit that I am disabled and live on low income. And a lot of my patronage comes from my parents. I don't make money on books. I should put that out there right now. Money doesn't come from books. My success and I don't want to say self-worth because I have self-worth without my books. But like definitely my self-confidence comes to my books and like my dreams and my aspirations and I'm gonna win the Nobel. Same thing with archaeology, So like focus less on the trowel and more on the dirt. I mean, like that could be a poem, right? So just the actions, the experience, making cookies. I'm gonna make beer cookies soon. I'll be posting everything here and how to do it because I don't know how to do it, and we'll see if it works or not. All right, I'm gonna pull another card. Like some people, they're like, "Oh, I do this intuitively," and I do it intuitively, but it's a little different. I don't do like I rarely do the Starseed Oracle, even though I own it. All right, Batman, we all wear masks. Deception. Now, this does not mean somebody is deceiving you, but perhaps we all wear personas. I know I just admitted that I do. I have to put on badass poetry, like I'm going to rule the world sort of feel. Otherwise, I don't get what I want. It's the sad truth. You do what your publishers want you to do. You do what your editors want you to do. Um, you do what the PhDs want you to do in archaeology, right? And then at some point, we have to decide, are we going to deceive even ourselves? I have to say that I have had limerence a lot in my life, like where I feel like there's this whole other narrative. Think about it all the time. I love the idea. I want to be part of a team. And like for a while I felt like a team in archaeology. And I have learned my place. I've learned my place. I am not part of the team. I am just a volunteer. And yet part of me is still like, no, that's not where I belong though. So is that limerence or is that, like I have to do other actions so that I get to where I want to go? Okay. So there's a difference between self-deception and that can be, but we can also take off that mask and realize who we really are. And maybe taking off that mask is really us. Like we see like, oh, we're the same, like we still have that cowl on when we take off the other cowl, right? Okay. So, or maybe we just have it around our eyes that are different, We take the cowl off and we're like, well, that part is still us. And finding out what is us and what is not us is a very big deal, especially during this time of year. You go out there, you're trying to be nice, you're supposed to be happy. We're told to be happy, right? But there's less sunlight if you're in the northern hemisphere. So that gives a lot of seasonal depression. I have all spectrum lights in my car, my bedroom, and my office. Okay, I'm real, about my light. And like so, just think about that. Go out in the sun a little bit more, and like that sort of stuff. Um, you don't have to be all love and light. If you have someone that really is abusing you, especially like a family member that you have to go see, um, protect yourself. And I don't mean like, oh my God, have a gun. No, no, no. I mean like energetically be like, I'm ready for this, or don't go. You're allowed. You're allowed feelings. You're allowed to be scared. You're allowed to, you know, be like, I don't want to be hurt inside or out. Like you have choices. And this brings up a lot in, the holidays. And that's all holidays. I mean, like, how many holidays are going on right now? Um, it'll be wind up being hundreds, of different ones. I celebrate the solstice, as everyone knows, December, I think 21st this year. And like, I'm choosing not to be with my family. I don't think this year I'll be with archaeology. They haven't said. Last year I was. I've been every Sabbath so far. I've been with archaeology this year. And you know what? It's been beautiful. It's probably been the best year of Sabbaths I've had. And I haven't followed all my rituals like I was supposed to. But, my hands are in the dirt and it's almost like prayer at times. You've got to find that within yourself where it doesn't have to be actually praying, right? It just has to be that space where you're open to everything. You're like, yes. All right, our next one. Oh, strength. I believe that what doesn't kill you simply makes you stranger, and that is the Joker. Now, stranger. Mm, we all kind of have that, right? Where we become sort of strange and eccentric at times, people will say. And there's nothing wrong with being eccentric. Sometimes being eccentric is the strength, the standing up for yourself, being yourself, not caring. I I met my companion's family for the first time in 21 years. And I am kind of like really kind of ashamed of how I acted. I was myself. And like, I mean, like, I have to be real. It's not like they don't follow me on Facebook. They know who I am. They know that I am the troublemaker, right? I wound up with a 2-year-old under the table, like with teapot having fake tea, you know? And, like, I was having a blast, probably more than the toddler, and then I realized I was probably supposed to be talking to the parents, right? So I feel kind of I'm like, "Mm, but should I?" That was myself, right? So if they don't accept me, if I don't accept myself, I mean, I have to accept myself first before they do. And, I had fun. And yes, I was scolded by the companion. Why are you on the floor, Kim? Um, why are you on the floor? I didn't like catch the cues. Um, but a lot of me is not sorry. I showed my true self. And what else can you do? These people are going to know you at some point, right? They're gonna stop scolding the other one, the companion, "Be good." They're gonna be like, "She's the problem." And I am. I get us into trouble all the time. Uh, Good trouble. Good trouble. Alright, 2 came out, and these will be our final 2 of this deck. The training is nothing. The will is everything. The will to act. And this is Henry Ducard, who you later find out is, Ra's al Ghul. Willpower. And I don't think this means don't have a second piece of pie or cake. I think willpower is like another strength sort of thing. You hold yourself, you do what you need to do, whatever it is, take that class, get through it. Be the person you're supposed to be, and learning how to be that person is the most difficult part. That is where the willpower comes. Who am I going to be? What do I want to be? Am I having a midlife crisis? Trying to decide if I'm going back to grad school. I would probably lose my status as anything, so it wouldn't be considered, disabled, right? So no money. Um, it's difficult decision, but what do I want to do with my life? Am I willing to stay where I am? Am I moving forward? This is all willpower, you know? What makes you go? Do what makes you go. Do your responsibilities, don't get me wrong. But let's say you have kids. Let's say you're tired. Damn it, that willpower can just mean take a nap. It doesn't mean hurt yourself trying to do extra stuff for the holidays, doing cookies, doing whatever, going to all their birthday parties that they have to go to. There's other ways. I really do believe so. Take a moment, relax. You're doing good enough. And that is willpower as much as powering through something. Our last card of the Batman deck is Why Should I Hide Who I Am? And that is Two-Face. Unique, stand out. That goes with everything that we have. Think outside of the box. Willpower, focus less on the material. Strength, deception. Don't deceive yourself. Be the freak you're supposed to be. Stand out. Don't don't fade yourself into the crowd. We're all meant to be very unique. That's why we are the way we are. And the world needs us. They need to be us to be unique. I told one person that the world needs writers more than ever on all sides. That's how we get together. We communicate, we listen, we disagree, we argue our points, and at some point we come together as friends. We agree to disagree and we go, okay, I see your point. I don't agree with you, but I accept you. And if we did that, wouldn't the world be completely different? And that is like my challenge to you. Let's make the world completely different. And it doesn't have to be huge changes. All right. I have the rest Jane Austen deck. We used this before. It's a Jane Austen tarot deck. And if you remember, it's on like the traditional cards. You have the clubs, the spades, the diamonds, and the hearts. So the first one we drew, and they don't have inverted. All of ours were inverted, so I assume like I did the deck, sort of weird. So this is the King of Spades. This is the Emperor, as it puts on. It says authority. Though Anne Elliot rejects Captain Wentworth in the beginning of The Persuasion, he later approaches love and life with a wiser view. Okay, so again, this is like perspective, right? Perspective changes over time. And of course, in books, perspective always changes. There's always some type of journey. If they're a good book, all the characters have like a narrative arc, the hero's journey, whatever, right? I really think they're all just the hero's journey, but told slant. Um, we won't go into my theories of literature. Okay. So, and I immediately thought he looked like Darcy, but like whatever, Captain Wentworth. All right. So, authority, the emperor. We have control. The emperor is in charge of emotions. He's in charge and he can keep charge. Like, I mean, like of all the different things, if you're thinking of swords and all this, he sort of like commands it all. He can go forward, has complete control of his life, or at least an understanding of his life as it goes through. And narrative arc, he becomes the emperor. We did get it inverted. So I sort of believe that with this is that we are becoming the emperor. We're on a journey. Okay. So take that as you will. You can take it inverted or not. The next one, ironically, is strength again. We did get it inverted, but like I said, we got these all inverted. So I always like take that as like I didn't pull five, so you never know. But it is, basically nothing bolsters the soul like a good spot of tea is what it says. And it's courage. Okay, so again, it's that journey. We have to become courageous. We have to go forward. We have to be our authentic selves. And that is damn difficult. I try to live authentically. I do. And even online, I have to have a persona. So is that authentic? No, right? That's why I write letters. You actually learn who the hell I am. You learn that I am not as literate as I appear. I have the ideas, I have the concepts, I have the words, but putting them together and actually, like making them, legible is difficult for me. So, courage and drink that damn tea. Yeah. Okay. Three of Diamonds, collaboration. Ladies in the Regency era knew how to decorate with styles of furniture that interacted with each other to make a comfortable home. So, are we being called to make a comfortable home, perhaps, maybe our own space? I think that we are being called to make a comfortable world. Put our collective furniture together in a circle, hold hands, and say, yes, I welcome you. If we each welcome each other into whatever home we have, even our own space, I think we would have a much different world. And I am out to change the world. I admit it. I'll take the Nobel Peace Prize, but after the Nobel in literature, of course. But like, let's just do what we can. My my I guess catchphrase is small acts matter, and they do. Okay, so hug that person in the nursing home. Make sure you're not sick at first. All right, no sickness, don't spread. But like, be comforting to each other all over the world. And let's collectively change the world just with intention, just with thoughts, just getting to know each other, just saying hello, just waving. Take care, be well. Um, I hope that you have an absolutely wonderful week. If you're seeing this during this week, right after Thanksgiving in the US, I hope you had a good Thanksgiving. I never do. That's life. And if you're not seeing this, it is universal. Know that Thanksgiving did happen, and maybe feel grateful for a second about something. Be well. So it is.